You reach for the door of a coffee shop, and a woman walking out glances at you for barely a second. You keep walking because you assume nothing happened. Wrong. She had already noticed more than you realized. Most men think women only stare at younger guys or movie star faces. They don't. Some of the things women notice first are much quieter, and they're often the very things older men stopped thinking about years ago. Today, we're looking at 8 things women can't help staring at on older men. 1. Your hands. You're waiting to pay for your groceries. The cashier hands you your receipt. You fold it once, slip it into your pocket, pick up your bags, and leave. It lasts 10 seconds. Women notice those 10 seconds. It doesn't matter whether your hands are rough from years of physical work or smoother from years behind a desk. They're watching something else. Do your hands move with purpose? Or do they constantly fidget with receipts, keys, and your phone? Hands have a way of introducing a man before he ever speaks. Calm hands suggest a calm life. Restless hands suggest a restless mind. She's not admiring your fingers. She's reading your composure. And hands usually tell her more than your age ever could. 2. Your smile. You're ordering lunch. The cashier makes a small joke while handing you your change. You smile, thank her, and walk away. Nothing about the moment feels important. That's exactly why women notice it. It doesn't matter if your teeth aren't perfectly straight or you've picked up a few lines around your eyes. Some smiles stop at the mouth. Others reach the eyes. The difference is surprisingly easy to see. One looks practiced. The other looks genuine. She's not counting wrinkles. She's asking herself whether happiness looks familiar on your face. Sometimes that's the part people remember, long after they've forgotten what you actually said. 3. Your posture. You're waiting for the elevator. Most people fill the silence by shifting their weight, checking their phones, or folding into themselves without realizing it. Then another man walks in. He simply stands there, relaxed, comfortable, present. Women notice that difference almost immediately. It doesn't matter if you're carrying a little extra weight or your shoulders aren't as broad as they used to be. Posture isn't about looking bigger. It's about looking settled. She's not measuring your height. She's measuring how comfortable you seem occupying your own space. And quiet comfort is remarkably difficult to fake. 4. Your forearms. You're rolling up your sleeves before carrying a box into the garage. Or pushing a shopping cart through the grocery store. For a moment, your forearms are exposed. Women notice them more often than men think. It isn't about having enormous muscles. It isn't about visible veins. It doesn't matter if they're lean or thicker from years of work. Forearms quietly answer a different question. Do you look capable? Do your movements seem natural? Strong forearms say you've spent time doing real things with your hands. That tells her something. Now you know. So far, these are the things almost any woman notices within a few seconds. The next 4 take a little longer. They're the details she usually notices after you've already started moving, talking, or simply existing in the same room. And they're much harder to fake. 5. The way you walk. You're crossing a parking lot. Someone with a stroller comes toward you. Without thinking, you give them space and keep walking. Nothing about it feels memorable, yet moments like that stay with people. Some men rush everywhere. Some seem to fight the ground with every step. Others move as though they have nowhere else they need to be. Women notice the difference. A relaxed walk says you're comfortable with yourself. A hurried walk often says you're chasing something. She's not counting your steps. She's watching how you move through the world. That tells her everything. 6. Your voice. The waiter asks what you'd like to order. You answer. The conversation lasts less than 30 seconds. Women aren't just listening to your words, they're listening to your pace. It doesn't matter if your voice is naturally deep or surprisingly soft. Some men sound like they're racing the conversation. Others speak as though they expect people to listen. A steady voice rarely asks for attention. It naturally keeps it. A woman who's indifferent hears your words. A woman who's interested notices how those words were delivered. And those are rarely the same thing. 7. Your eyes. You're talking to a barista while she prepares your coffee. She asks one simple question. You answer, hold eye contact for a moment, then naturally look away. The exchange lasts less than a minute. Women notice eyes that stay present. It doesn't matter if yours are hidden behind reading glasses or have picked up a few lines around the edges. What matters is whether they seem settled. Do your eyes stay with the conversation, or are they constantly searching the room for something better? A woman who's indifferent forgets your eye contact almost immediately. A woman who's interested remembers how it made her feel. 1 glance could mean nothing. 2 is a pattern. 3 becomes very difficult to ignore. 8. Your face when you're not performing. You're waiting outside a restaurant for your table. Nobody is speaking to you. Nobody expects anything from you. For a few quiet moments, your face returns to whatever feels natural. Women notice that expression. Some men look permanently impatient. Others seem to carry the weight of every problem they've ever had. Then there are men whose faces simply look at ease. It doesn't matter if your hair has gone gray or the years have left their marks. Those things don't usually hold a woman's attention. The expression you wear when you think nobody is watching often does. She's not seeing an older man. She's seeing a man who's comfortable being exactly where he is. Her body just told you what her mouth won't. Before we finish, there's one last thing worth mentioning. It isn't a body part. It isn't something you can see in the mirror. But it may be the reason women sometimes look twice. You're sitting alone in a coffee shop, reading the menu, looking out the window, waiting for someone to arrive. You're not trying to get anyone's attention. You're simply comfortable being where you are. Ironically, that's often when women notice a man the most. Because attention has a strange habit. The harder someone tries to attract it, the easier it is to see. The men who seem completely at ease rarely look like they're performing for the room. They aren't checking who's watching. They aren't adjusting themselves every few seconds. They simply exist without asking anyone for permission. Women notice that, not because it guarantees attraction, because genuine ease has become surprisingly uncommon. And sometimes, that's the detail that quietly holds her attention the longest. You may forget the woman who glanced at you in the grocery store, or the one who smiled before looking away in a coffee shop. She probably won't remember every word you said either, but people rarely forget how someone quietly made them feel. And that's why women often notice the smallest details first. The hands that don't fidget, the smile that reaches the eyes, the posture that asks for nothing, the walk that never seems hurried, the voice that stays calm, the eyes that stay present, the face that's finally at peace. You're going to start seeing these moments everywhere, and if you've ever wondered what happens after the stare, we put together a guide called 25 Forbidden Signals She's Into You. It's about the quieter signals that usually come next. Once you see them, you can't unsee them.